The House passes a bill to ban transgender surgeries.
Men are men. Men can never become women. Women are women. Women can never become men.
Oh, God. Jesus Christ.
Children are innocent.
1 plus
and
1.
They need our protection.
This is a huge Omega W. Mega W. The only thing that's an L is the fact that 211 retards voted against this. And I'm gonna be real. This should have been a, what's the total here? A 427 to 0. Like, no, not a single person should have been voting in favor of kids having transgender surgeries or medical intervention to change their gender. Fire the people that voted against it?
On this vote, the yeas are 210, the nays are 218. The motion is not adopted.
Oh.
The question is on passage of the bill. Those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no.
Oh.
In the opinion of the chair, the ayes have it.
I love how nobody's even paying attention to him.
For what purpose does the gentlewoman from Vermont seek recognition?
What do you want?
I ask for the yeas and nays.
The yeas and nays are requested. Those favoring a vote by the yeas and nays will rise.
Do you think they're actually voting for transgender child surgery, or are they voting against some of the pork? It's impossible to know. And I think this is the reason why having these bills, these like massive bills where it's like, yeah, in this bill, so there's a thing about Israel gets $5 billion. We're going to bomb a country in Africa. We haven't decided which one. That's a surprise. And then also children, there's going to be cancer research for kids. So if you vote against this, you want kids with cancer to die. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. Like, really, it's so outrageous. Like, I mean, just think about this for 2 seconds. It's so stupid.
A sufficient number having risen, the yeas and nays are ordered. Members will record their votes by electronic device.
Research.
This is a 5-minute vote.
Yeah, why haven't we ever voted to give kids cancer? Yeah, why not? Like, there's never anything for that ever. Oh wait, yeah, there is. It's how much kids, how much like soda and like fucking like random ass fucking McDonald's they eat, right? Okay, well let's see. This is all right. This is the very end. Okay. We have memes in Fortnite for that? That's true. We'll skip ahead a little bit.
Mr. Speaker, I ask unanimous consent that when the House adjourns today, it adjourns to meet at 9 a.m. tomorrow.
Without objection.
Okay. So there's not really a lot more information about this. I was hoping there'd be more people discussing this, but yeah. I'll see if there's anybody talking about this. No. Not really. Well, anyway, so this is kind of what's happened, and I'm very glad to see this. Obviously, new gender reaffirming restrictions. This is a very long video, but I'll go back and look at a few more updates on this. So this is amazing, right? And then here we go.
I'm excited to announce that my bill, Protect Children's Innocence Act, that criminalizes gender-affirming care on any minor under the age of 18, has passed the House of Representatives.
Thank fucking God. Oh my God. This is the most, like, the fact that this is even a conversation point is insane to me. It's absolutely insane.
So I would also like to thank 3 Democrats that voted to protect kids. Cuellar, Davis, and Gonzalez. Thank you so much for protecting children. Unfortunately, there were 4 Republicans
that
voted no and refused to protect kids.
Who does
Those
it be?
Republicans are Evans from Colorado, Fitzpatrick, Kennedy of Utah, and Mike Lawler from New York.
What an idiot.
I don't know why they can't protect kids, but that's too bad. But I'm still excited my bill passed, and it goes to the Senate next. Thank you so much for your support.
Thank fucking God. I am so happy about this, and I think this is a transgender congresswoman. Let me listen to this.
I get it's hard to understand what it feels like to be trans. I get that it is hard to understand what it feels like to be me. I get that it's hard to understand this care and understand the need for it. But one of the things that gets so lost in this...
Just don't do it to kids. I feel like this is so easy. Just don't do it to kids. The bar's on the floor. But nobody cares if you're transgender. Be transgender all you want. But you can't go and do this to kids.
Conversation.
Holy fuck.
Is that the transgender adults of today were kids once. I was a kid once. I didn't have the courage to come out until I was 21. But it's a fact I have known about myself for my entire life.
I'm sure for some of them that's true, and for some of them it's not true. I bet there are kids that if they could have gotten a tattoo whenever they were 12, whenever they were 50, they wouldn't have regretted the tattoo. But that doesn't mean that you let 12-year-olds get tattoos, because some of them wouldn't have regretted it. You don't want to let kids make irreversible decisions for the rest of their life because some of them might get it wrong. This is so obvious.
I didn't have the courage to come out until I was 21.
Their logic's fucking retarded. It's completely fucking retarded.
And that means 21 years of pain. 21 years of unwavering homesickness that only went away when I was able to get the care that I needed.
Yeah.
And my biggest regret in life is that I never had a childhood without that pain.
So, because you had a bad experience as a kid, now every kid has to get there's kids have to get transgender surgery operations. That's too bad. That's too bad. Not everything's going to be perfect. We can't let parents and children decide to change their gender when they're 12 years old. This is crazy. And also, there's plenty of people, by the way, there are people that transition and then they detransition. It's not like being trans is like a uniform thing that nobody ever regrets. There's a lot of people that have regretted going on puberty blockers, getting sex change operations. So to act like this is some kind of universal reality that every trans person goes through is just disproven instantly by just looking on the internet and reading interviews. That's it. This is so ridiculous.
I marvel at the courage of transgender young people today.
See, and you can see how they're changing the language. They're shifting the vocabulary because they don't want to say transgender children because they know it sounds fucking disgusting. And people know that. And so they're using young people instead of children or instead of teenagers or instead of, kids. They're using young people because young people could mean 19, it could mean 7, it could mean 12, it could mean anything. So you're intentionally using language to obfuscate a point. And I think that, again, this is what I've always said before, is that the moment that a person uses language to hide their intentions, it's because they know they have bad intentions. They know what they're doing is wrong, and at the very least, they want to mislead you and make you believe something that's not true. They want you to think that whenever they say young people, they're referring to 18 to 21-year-olds. But the fact is, they're actually talking about 8 to fucking 12-year-olds. They're lying. Yes, they're intentionally trying to mislead you and make you think something different. It's a lie. There's a top post on Trans Today talking about how someone tried to groom someone else's kid by calling them female pronouns and applying makeup to someone else's child. I don't know why. I don't know why everybody has to be so weird about this. If you want to transition as an adult and go through all of that process, I think most people are willing to play along with that and not really give a fuck. Not everybody, but a lot of people probably don't care that much because people have bigger problems in their life than whether you're wearing a dress or a suit jacket, right? It doesn't really make a difference. But the big problem is that whenever you're trying to put this ideology on kids and you're trying to think about, well, this is the way it was for me. I was like this as a kid, so now I have to make sure that every other kid goes through the same experience. It's in a way selfish.
Who are sharing themselves with their families and this world, despite the toxicity and the hate that too often emanates from the building behind me and from politicians within it.
This is the problem, and this is the reason why I think that the trans community has been losing a lot of support, is because they haven't been able to actively and I think correctly remove people that are trying to, basically gender transition children out of their community and out of their movement. And I think to the extent that you have people inside of the LGBT movement and inside of the transgender community that view it as a good thing or something that should happen, that children are transitioned, I think that you will always continue losing support, and all support for trans and also LGBT to a greater extent will be receding. And I think that's already happened, like with gay marriage, because most of them agree with it. I don't think that a lot, actually, so here's the truth. I think that a lot of trans people live in absolute hell. Imagine, like, so this is a weird thing, but I can empathize with trans people to the best degree that I think a person who's not trans could empathize with trans people. I remember when I would break a tooth or something like that, and I looked in the mirror and I smiled, and I saw what I looked like, and I absolutely hated myself for it because I didn't look the way that I imagined that I should look. Like, there was a dissonance between the way that I saw myself and the way that I was, and it really bothered me a tremendous amount. And so when I hear a trans person talking about the way that they feel, I think about the way that I felt that way, and I think to myself, okay, I bet they feel that way about their whole fucking body. They're living in hell. I don't want to make it any harder for an average everyday trans person. And you can go back 15 years of content that I've made. I have never, ever, even whenever it's popular to do, when it was completely okay, 2010, was I going around making trans jokes then? I never was, because I don't have a problem with it. But whenever you're talking about kids and involving children in this is a totally different fucking paradigm. And I understand that, yes, this is the way that you felt whenever you were a kid, but has it ever occurred to you that other people had different experiences that were not the same as yours? And that's it. And so do you guys see kind of what I mean about this? Because I see that, like, oh, this is hate. It's hate. No, it's not. It's common sense. Like, it's not. There's nothing evil about this, nothing transphobic about this. These are children. You should allow children to go through. And also, there are plenty of kids that feel dysphoric about their gender, and then they get older and they get more accustomed to it. Like, the entire idea, and this is what's so very annoying to me about this, is that, I'm sorry, this is a 1-minute video and I'm mauling out about it. But, like, everybody says gender is a spectrum. Gender is a spectrum. It's a spectrum. If it's such a spectrum, then if gender is such a massive spectrum, then why do you treat every kid that's dysphoric about their gender as trans? You could be a tomboy, you could be a femboy, you could be a crossdresser, you could be a drag queen, you could be, just a metrosexual, kind of guy. You could be like Jeffree Star. You could be like James Charles. You could be all of these other people on the gender spectrum, but you don't have to necessarily be trans. That's at the very, very edge of the other line. You see what I'm saying? It's so fucking annoying for me to see this. And so, and my point is that, like, so where I was coming from is that the reason why I think a lot of trans people don't speak out against this is because they don't want to be seen as traitors to their own group. But I bet a lot of them realize what's happening here, and they think it's bad too. I think they do. I'm not saying all of them. I can't speak for all of them, but I know for a fact more of them do than speak out against it. That's a fact. And the problem is that they're afraid to do that because now when you stand in the middle of the road, you're getting hit by both sides. So you've got people that are calling you a man or a woman, you know, whatever your gender that you transitioned away from. They're trying to dead name you and calling you a fucking an abomination and saying that you're like a mentally ill man, like you know, trying to insult you in however way they can. So you still have those people that hate you, and you've also lost your support group of the people that are on your side. So they're afraid to come to this middle ground that actually I think 90% of well-adjusted adults believe that it's fine if you want to do this and be transgender, go ahead, live your own life, you know, live your best life. But at the same time, don't take this ideology and push it onto kids. I think that's the way most normal people believe. Blair White's one of the biggest trans people against children being groomed. Yeah. And so, that's why, like, I mean, I can't really ever ask people that are trans that agree with this to speak out because I can't even imagine how fucking annoying and frustrating and stressful and awful it must be, right? But man, I wish I had more people that came out and agreed with me on this. And actually, no, said that they agreed with me on this. I think there's plenty of people that agree with me on this, but spoke out against it. Because this type of behavior will be detrimental to all of LGBT. And I think that we're already seeing the effects of that right now. I'm trans and it's not frustrating, and I agree with you. I know, like there's plenty of people that are like that, but that's actually the way that I feel about trans people as a whole. And that's the difference between what she's discussing and what I'm talking about. And so this hate thing and bigotry and all this, we're talking about children here. This is beyond your social worldview.
All any of us want is to live a life of purpose and happiness and wholeness. None of us know how long we have. None of us know how much time we have on this planet. It is already hard enough to raise a family. It is already hard enough to be a kid. And government
It's already hard enough to be a kid, so now let's introduce gender transition and puberty blockers to make it even worse. It's on hard mode, well now it's going to be mythic.
Not make it harder.
You're not on New Game, you're on New Game Plus. So yeah, there we go. So make them trans. Yes, exactly. Like, I don't even understand. There's no logic to this at all. It doesn't make sense ever. Never forget, bro. The slogan before was once, we're trans and queer and we're coming for your children. Never forget. I know that there's a lot of people that do that. I don't allow myself. I think it's very easy for people to fall into the trap of listening to what a few mentally ill retards on Twitter think and thinking that they represent the entire LGBT community. I try to avoid falling into that trap myself, although of course I do read the same things that you read. I do see the same things that you see, and I feel basically the same way about it that you feel about it. So it's not like I don't feel this way and I don't think the same thing. It's that I think that you have to overcome and realize that these people are the most outspoken, problematic, mentally ill, deranged, perverted weirdos that are in this community that don't necessarily represent the entire community, right? They call detransitioners traitors. Trans activists are the worst. Yeah, it's disgusting. And again, I just kind of healthy body parts of children is the biggest medical scandal the world's ever seen. Yeah, and also, like, I mean, I'm going to be real. Like, it's the same as marijuana. Like, this used to be like this is the liberal marijuana issue right now. Is that in the same way that I would say that back in the day, especially like before Donald Trump, marijuana legalization was a big platform around Republicans about making it illegal and stopping people from smoking weed. And what happened is that basically a lot of people were like, well, this is stupid. Why would I vote for people that want to talk about like, oh, yeah, you can't smoke weed because it's against, you know, the Bible or something. And it cost Republicans a lot of votes. And a lot of people didn't agree with Republicans for that reason, because it was such an obvious, ridiculous thing to say that, you know, oh, weed should have you get put in jail. It's crazy. So what's happening, I think, with this is the same exact thing. It's basically you have a crazy viewpoint that 90% of people think is ridiculous that you continue to push. And I think this is one of the main alienating things that Democrats have. Like, it's basically like, here's an example. It's like, I always use flat earth as a good frame of reference here, is that if somebody believes in flat earth, I don't want to hear what their opinion is on anything else. because their mental facilities are very clearly damaged. Like whatever decision-making apparatus that they have, however they make decisions, there's something wrong with it because the earth isn't fucking flat and you think it's flat. So I think that this is a great example of the same thing, where as soon as somebody hears the idea of a 9-year-old transitioning, they immediately throw the baby out with the bathwater, and deservedly so. It's such a crazy belief that how could any person who believes this have anything of value to contribute at all to the world? So that's what I would say. Flat earthers are retarded. It's about hollow earth theory. Yes, of course. So opinion ignored, basically. Exactly. And so that one's debatable. Yes. Clementine Breen had an interview with JBP. She was never transgender and her doctor lied. Pretty brave of her to do that interview. Yeah. And that's the other thing, too, is that these people are so violent and so aggressive. What is this here?
Even for Republicans, this is extreme.
Great. Let's hear another stupid, fucking annoying Karen. Like, again, these people need to be out in the swamp selling mushrooms. I don't know how. What the fuck happened? It's so annoying. All right, what does this retarded swamp hag have to say today?
Even for Republicans, this is extreme. Are we really attempting to lock up parents and doctors?
Yes. Yep. Absolutely.
Kids'
Thanks for asking.
medical care is none of their damn business.
It absolutely is. There are plenty of things that are regulated around children and parents can't opt their children into and children can't consent to. There's dozens of examples of this.
We should call this obsession with your kids. And
these are the same people, by the way, that wanted to force kids to get the COVID vaccine in order to go to school. They don't even believe what they're saying.
What treatment they're getting in the pediatrician's office, what it is, it's creepy. It's a creepy obsession, and we've had to deal
It's a creepy obsession by talking about other people's creepy obsession?
with it for years. The science is clear. Evidence-based, medically necessary care for transgender youth is safe, it's effective, it's supported by every...
If it's not safe, if it's effective, that's even more of an argument for not having it.
Every major medical association in the United States, including the American Medical Association and the American Academy of Pediatrics. Even for Republicans...
We need to make swamp hags great again and get them the fuck out of the fucking... Having these people in Congress is so fucking annoying. I hate this shit. We have to listen to these stupid fucking morons spend all day. They're all in on a 90-10 issue. Exactly. They keep using emotional tactics instead of being logical. Exactly. It's crazy. It's safe and effective. Where have we heard that before? Well, it's also like there are plenty of things that are safe and effective, like getting tattoos that you don't let kids get. Like, it doesn't even, that's not even an argument. We're from 14, California. What's this here? They have a private chat with your child at every child well visit. At every well child visit, at 14, they have to have a private chat with your kid. So you talk to the doctors have to talk to the kid privately. I mean, that's... I mean, like, do I agree with that or not? I don't agree with that. I don't think so. I think that it just treats parents like criminals. And yeah, I can see the logic behind it, but I just think that it's just too weird. It's too weird, man. And yeah, exactly. Grooming potential. I don't think it's necessarily grooming potential, but I mean, of course it could be. And I think that, by the way, do I think that doctors and certain people in the medical profession push this shit on kids? Absolutely they do. Duh. If you are an activist, wouldn't you want to go, like, aren't you gonna fish where the fish are? Like, this is the same as anything, right? Every single instance where there are children and adults that interact with each other, we have bad things that happen. We do. Whether it's Boy Scouts, church, school, or video games, Roblox, bad things happen. This is just how it is. So we should assume that that's the case. And it's not like, and also the only other problem is that, like, these doctors, like, it's not like they're, like, perfect either. So it's this idea like, oh yeah, well, this doctor is going to do the right thing. Not necessarily. Anyway, let me see if there's any more of this that's worth talking about. I already looked at it before. But anyway, I am very, very glad no one should be mad at this. Yeah, absolutely fucking based. Thank God. Oh, she follows me. Look at that. Wow, what a smart girl. And yeah, creepy groomer, 100 fucking %. And I'll see if there's any more of this. If you want to enjoy healthy bodies of children, fuck your suicide self-harm cult. I mean, again, and this is what happens, is it radicalizes people against the entire group. And I actually replied to this myself. I was talking about this myself yesterday. Simple money problem. Doctors want to make more money when they get kids on the trans shit. I don't know if it's money. I think in some cases it is. In some cases it's not. But anyway, so I replied to this. I was like, listen, oh, here we go. So trans people already have all the rights as everyone else. So this person thinks it's a right to be able to do a medical procedure as a child, a sex change. No, kids don't have that right. Like, absolutely not. Like, I don't want kids getting like, what do you want them getting? Like, a BBL or like a fucking breast surgery? Absolutely fucking not. Like, this type of argument is so fucking retarded. It's insane. Really? Like, yeah, of course you wouldn't let a kid do that. It's fucking disgusting, right? Of course. So why are we letting this happen? They can't even get tattoos. They're talking about losing their rights. Your right to what? You don't have the right to groom a child. You don't have the right to groom children and mutilate their bodies. This isn't a right that straight people have either. The fact that the vote was this close is sick. And so straight is not the opposite of trans? It kind of is, in a way. It kind of is, right? I mean, not necessarily, but kind of. And fine dispute, right to groom children. I don't know, Christians exist? This is the argument. I don't know, Christians exist. Wow. There we go, man. And look at all the people regretting their tattoos. Yes, exactly. I'm a doctor in the EU. We don't even talk about this. Our studies have already determined that's a wrong practice. I mean, you don't have to be a genius to come to that conclusion. I think it's pretty fucking obvious, isn't it? I feel like anybody would think that, but at least anybody that has a fucking brain. Mutilate children, puberty blockers, really? Well, yeah, obviously they're going to cause an effect. The same thing cisgender children have. Really, maybe 0.01 kids have had any gender reaffirming surgery. As if it not... So if it doesn't happen a lot, then why are you trying to push for it so hard? If it's so uncommon, then why are you trying to make it as possible? 90% of surgery is done on cisgender boys for gynecomastia, only has small percentage of starter cross-sex hormones. Yes, obviously it's different for somebody to get a surgery for something that is a deformity. This person is viewing a deformity the same as a elective sexual surgery. Yes, deformities are different. Jesus Christ, you are just killing trans kids. Surely. And Christianity is reversible. You can become a Satanist and back and forth. Exactly, yes. You're killing trans kid. I know you're sick, but this is a cause. But we all know this cause you don't. Wait, let me read this again. I think you're sick, but we all know this cause you don't shower. Oh my God. And you never beating the chaser allegations. Now I got shadow banned and here you are, you're delusional. This is just such a crazy, crazy thing to say. And anyway, I'm very glad to see this happen. Circumcision is illegal. When did I ever advocate for circumcision? Never. And it's nuts. So anyway, we've had a lot of people, no argument, let them insult. Absolutely. No, it's a crazy, crazy way to attack a person and a crazy thing to do. And I'm glad to see Elon. Yeah, Elon agrees with this. Obviously, he agrees with this. It's fucking obvious. I mean, any normal person agrees with this. The only people that don't are people that have some degree of fucking mental disorder, right? And what's the chaser? Who knows? Who cares? But anyway, yeah, I saw this happen yesterday, and I do feel like more people should speak out against this because of how ridiculous it is. Trans women are not women. What is this?
Is it a sin if you have gender dysphoria as a mental disorder but choose not to act on it? No, I mean, it's not a sin. You're fighting against your flesh, man. And that's what God is asking us to do, right? This is the good fight. We have to fight against your flesh. And it's not easy. And then there are people who are actually truly creeps. They try to be transgender so they can get in women's sports and bathrooms. Sure. Genuinely, this topic, it is irritating. And I'm not saying all transgender people, but the loud people like Yara, they're misogynist 100%, because how can you tell me you know what a woman is, but you're inserting yourself, biologically a man, into this? You have no idea what I go through as a woman and vice versa. So stop trying to erase me.
It's obviously true that being trans is not the same as being a biological woman. Anybody that thinks that that's true is out of their mind. Anyone opposing this should have their hard drives checked. Thank God.
Today's revenue for sex-rejecting drugs and surgeries in 2023.
I hate to say it, but I think his voice is actually getting better. It's like probably 20% better than it was.
Were estimated in one study to exceed $4.4 billion and on track to exceed $7.8 billion by 2030. One doctor was recorded callously describing sex-rejecting procedures as a big moneymaker.
I bet they are.
Hospitals rake in millions of dollars by convincing boys and girls that a lifetime of off-label prescriptions for estrogen and testosterone blockers, chest reconstruction surgeries, and more are the only way to achieve true happiness and belonging in life. It's wrong. Right. The Trump administration will not stand by while ideology, misinformation, and propaganda push vulnerable young people into decisions they cannot fully understand.
Exactly.
And that they can never reverse.
Unironically based, I feel like RFK he's my favorite member of the Trump administration. He is. Maybe Stephen Miller. It's one or the other. Those are the two guys. But I really think, I mean, this guy's really putting in work. He's doing a lot. And I'm glad to see that. Common sense, guys? Yes, exactly. Ban the ideology? No, I think it's fine if you want to be trans. Just do it whenever you're an adult. That's all. Do it when you're an adult, and that's it. And oh, God, to all the new people in New York.
Hello, everyone. It's Tish James. I want to speak directly to the transgender community, especially to our young people and their families who count on gender-affirming care.
Yeah.
I know this latest proposal from this administration to cut access to gender-affirming care for many youth is frightening. Whether you live in Brooklyn, Binghamton, Buffalo, or anywhere else in New York.
Frightening. It's all emotion, as usual.
And even if you don't live in New York, I will not let this administration come for you, your doctors, or your life-saving health care. As of now, nothing has changed. Your health care is still legal and protected. And your doctors cannot cut off your access to gender-affirming care based on the administration's reckless proposal.
Not yet. Not yet.
And most importantly, I want you to know.
See, there has to be consequences for people that push this shit on kids. There does. There has to be retroactive consequences. We got to put these people in jail, something like that.
That you're not alone. I am right here with you, and I'm sending love to each and every one of you.
Y'all gonna be in prison together.
So please, stay strong, my friends, and enjoy the holiday.
It's gonna get a lot worse. If I got anything to say about it, it's gonna get way worse. This weird fixation around grooming kids, mutilating them, convincing them to take drugs that will change their body before they've even gone through puberty, has to stop. It's got to stop. When they were claiming whenever this wasn't happening, yeah, they were saying it wasn't happening, and now it is happening. And what a big surprise. And yeah, I'll look at maybe a couple others, and then I feel like we've kind of gone over this, and then we'll look at some other stuff.
Thank you, Dr. Oz. One of the most barbaric features of a society is the genital mutilation of its children. It's based on a medical dogma, sadly, that the normal, sometimes stressful experiences of boys and girls growing up is a pathology that requires medical intervention.
True.
Parents are told if they don't agree to these disfiguring and permanently sterilizing procedures, they're putting their child at increased risk of suicide, a baseless claim that has never been supported with good data.
Yep.
Let's be honest. And I'm going to say what you're not supposed to say. Pushing transgender ideology in children is predatory, it's wrong, and it needs to stop.
Oh, yes. Yes.
This ideology is a belief system that some teachers, some pediatricians, and others are selling
it's about
to
time.
children.
Yes, thank God.
Without their parents knowing sometimes, or with a deliberate attempt to remove parents from the decision making.
Yep.
Puberty can be stressful, and for all of history, being a kid and interacting with kids from...
That's true. I remember one time I shaved my balls in like 6th or 7th grade, and I couldn't wear underwear for like a month because of how uncomfortable it was. Oh my God, bro, I'll never forget that. Oh shit, yeah, tell you that.
The opposite gender can be awkward, even confusing at times.
Being real.
But to see now...
That's what it was.
A society putting kids on a path of chest binders, drugs, castration, mastectomies, and other procedures is a...
We should look at this the same way that we look at those weird countries around the world that do different forms of female genital mutilation. This is basically the same thing. It's just a different version of it.
Path that now many kids regret. And
circumcision,
Chloe,
I don't have an opinion on circumcision. I don't think it's good or bad. I'm circumcised. I mean, if I wasn't, then I wouldn't be. I mean, I just don't have an opinion on it.
I've got to say, your testimony in front of the Hill was one of the best descriptions I've heard on this issue.
I mean, I do think that a circumcised dick does look better. I do. Like, an uncircumcised dick looks like Gravemind from Halo 2. Or, you know, like those things in Elden Ring where they're, like, drooped over and they have, like, the death curse? It's kind of like that. I think it looks disgusting. Or, like, the two fingers, kind of, in a way. Like, I don't think it really looks good. But, like, I mean, I'm not making an argument for circumcision. I'm just saying that, you know, it is what it is. Guys, I'm not... Look. I'm not wrong. Yeah, I'm not wrong about this. What was everybody getting bent out of shape for? It's just true.
Ever. Maybe one of the best descriptions
Look how
I've
big
heard
it is.
of any topic ever presented in front of Congress.
Dix, you've been looking
it's an
at?
honor to be here with you.
I've seen a lot of dicks.
Let me be clear about something, and this is an important distinction. Sometimes it doesn't get mentioned.
I have.
We're not talking about medically treating kids with a biological basis for differences in sexual development. What used to be called intersex. We're not talking about children with 5-alpha reductase deficiency, Klinefelter.
Well, this is the problem, is that, I mean, they're trying to conflate medical deformities with a ideological perspective. These are two fundamentally very different things. It's not even remotely close. Can someone explain to me why it's wrong for the Nazis to mutilate sterilized children, but the left claim it's fine and inhumane not to do so? Nothing about this has to do with the Nazis. I'm going to be honest.
Syndrome, Turner syndrome, or other sex chromosome abnormalities. We're talking about an ideology that is supported by flawed science that every child as young as 4 years of age should pick from an array of genders.
Array. An array.
We've got high schools now where half the kids don't identify as a boy or girl. What's going on?
I'll tell you what's going on in those high schools. There is some beneficial advantage that the school administration has. Like, for example, maybe you can go to a special bathroom. Maybe you have, you can go to the nurse more often, so you can leave class more often. Like, I remember when on 9/11, when 9/11 happened, I told them that I was a Christian and I believed in God because I did not. But I said this so I could go out and hold hands with people and pray around the flagpole because I didn't want to go to English class. Straight up. Like, that's the reason why kids are doing it. ABC, bro, I'm always on top of it, man. Always. Always. It's awful but funny. Welcome to my life.
To American hospitals and clinics, do not ask parents to leave the room in order to sell your transgender ideology to America's children.
Yeah, the more I think about it, the more that I think the idea of, like, giving a doctor time alone with a kid is probably a bad thing. Like, and I don't really, like, I can see why they're doing it. I understand why. It's because, like, if the kid is being abused or something like that's going to happen, maybe the kid would be more likely to say something, you know, if it wasn't for the parent, right? Or something like that. Yeah, sometimes it's good. But I think the problem is that there's an implicit expectation that the doctor is acting in good faith, and there isn't a problem with the doctor also. And I think that in a case where the government is making a decision for what a person's life should be, you have to have, like, a very high rate of like not having bad actors. How about 2 separate doctors? I mean, I don't think that's really going to make a difference, if you want me to be honest. Doctors aren't cops. Yeah, exactly. And I think you're right, is that it's also, and this is another big issue that I feel like we don't really talk about enough, is that there is I think, an emotional and a mental drain that's on some of these first responders, on some of these people that have these essential jobs, like police officers, doctors, nurses, EMS, firefighters. Like, adding in another piece of, you know, to their Swiss Army knife job, I think is overwhelming for them. Like, yeah, they're not police officers. They're not investigators. They're not psychologists. They're a pediatrician. Let them deal with medical things and let somebody else make that decisions instead. A lot of doctors are not bad. The overwhelming majority of doctors are saints. They're the best people ever. Like, I've never met a bad doctor in my life. And I think most people probably feel that way. Same with first responders. They're heroes. But at the same time, so are parents. Most parents aren't bad either. Like, what are we talking about? Like, most parents, debatable? I'm talking about my experience, right? That's it. It's my experience. Doctor asked, do you want to see pee-pee? No, I don't know about that. That's a bit much, man. It's a little bit weird. You get trained on how to talk to these people, and if a child gets Baker acted at my hospital, they have a day where they could draw their favorite pride flags. Oh my god. Yeah, this shit's gotta stop, bro. Like, it's gotta stop.